Alright, what we have here is a box my son and I found last weekend. It was full of VHS tapes. So I've kind of divided them up and got a few extra rare things. This will be the horror, few horror things that I have. And by no means this is not everything in my collection. Up first here we got the '89 classic of They Live, Roddy Piper's movie. It's got the big tagline, I've come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. And just a great movie. It's kind of like it's supposed to have been I think it was like a tribute to some B movies and stuff, but basically we have been invaded by aliens, they have been here, and he comes across the sunglasses that lets him see them. And part of a big revolution going on. Check it out, great movie. The Nightbreed. I think, when did this come out? This came out in like 1990, and I remember all the comic books had a big little, you open up the comic book in the center and you spread it out and it explained who everybody was. But basically this is a Clive Barker movie of the Hellraiser fame, and this is just a cheesy little dated movie, which all I can say is, the monsters live up underground, and this is like the monsters messiah. Maybe that's coming up is a good way to put it. And actually I've seen the X-Men kind of rip some of this stuff off in here that was in the Nightbreed. By far it's not a good movie, but it's not good in the fun way. Now, the trick with horror, in my opinion, is that, I heard somebody stated that it's all comedy. The more blood they throw in there, the funnier it gets. Well, this is by Baskin and Rask, and got Boris Karloff doing some voices in it. This came out, I believe, in the 60s. Yeah, 1967. And these are the guys that did Rudolph and Frosty. You see, every, around the holidays and stuff. Well, this is their Halloween. This has everybody in it in that little stop animation with the little puppets and stuff. And the thing, I like it. I love it. But it knocks me out. This is my little horror movie, Mad Monster Party, that just, Phyllis Diller's in it, and it knocks me out. It'll relax me, and you don't think. You just don't think. I believe it was a TV special. Okay, we don't have a cover for this one. I don't understand why, but this is Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, and I should have Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which also had Dracula and the Werewolf in it from Universal Films. Love those movies. And here we go. 1945, House of Dracula, with Lon Chaney as the Wolfman in this as well. And I don't quite know the continuity, but all these Dracula films from the Bela Lugosi 1931, I believe, film, all the way up until or late 40s, they have a continuity. These things came out in a certain order and kind of tried to do one whole little story there. They got worse and worse as they went along, but if you're a fan of the Universal Monsters, these are always a must. I'm not being down on the movies. I just don't want anybody to watch the video and think we have some classics going on here that are classic in their own way. I'll just show you the back of it. Frankenstein's also in it. And in this one, John Carradine is Dracula. I think he was the Dracula that I just did not like. He was real skinny, had a mustache, and wore the top hat with the little cape. It's not cool. Alright, I am by far not an anime fan. I don't dislike it. It just doesn't. It hardly ever really captures me like it did when I was a kid. But this is unbelievable. Vampire Hunter D. I think they made two of them. This should be from the 80s. I believe this is from maybe 1985. And basically this is set in the future, the year 12,090, and Earth is plagued by vampires who rule over small pockets of civilization in a mockery of ancient feudal land baronies, and they have a stranglehold on all the land. And this guy comes in and he's got a big secret. He's that world's greatest vampire hunter, but he has a huge secret. And I believe he also has a cursed hand with an evil little face on it. Love this movie, and it is not for kids. Let me throw that out there. Okay, we got some more Universal stuff. The Great Wolfman, what can I say? I actually think Larry Talbot, who is, Wolfman's human form, is creepier than the Wolfman. At the beginning of the movie, he's stalking a girl. He's watching her through a telescope. He goes to where she works and plays mind games with her about saying, he wants to buy earrings. And she lives over the little store. Her bedroom's over the store. I think she lives with her dad. And he just flat out tells her, no, I don't want those earrings. I want the one you have in your bedroom. He talks her into meeting him for a date that night. And she says she has a boyfriend. And she brings a friend along, and he's hiding around with his hiding around a corner with his big cane, playing little games. I personally thought he came off creepier unintentionally than, the Wolfman did. Whole other movie could have been told there in the 40s. Okay. And here is my favorite monster. I keep, you got King Kong and Black Lagoon with me, Creature from the Black Lagoon. This is an absolute classic. And if I remember right, this came out maybe in the early 50s, 1954. And I think it was just supposed to be a B movie. And the thing took off, spawned 2 other sequels. Everybody should know who the Creature from the Black Lagoon is. I personally think there's a message there of sexual repression, but that's neither here nor there. That's what you get for working in the field I work in. You start reading into things and seeing little things that may or may not be there. And of course, here's one of the sequels, Revenge of the Creature. And you better, they're bad in a good way. This by far does not even touch the original. Creature from the Black Lagoon is the classic. But this one, I believe this is the one where they capture him and take him to Florida as the guilty, and he's on display, and he spends the whole movie at the bottom of a pool trying to break a chain as you see the air bubbles coming out of the top of his head. But it's still a great movie. Alright, let's switch a little bit to DVDs here. And this is the 1959 Hammer film of The Mummy, starring Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. And it's just a retelling of the Universal Mummy, more or less. It shows flashbacks to Egypt and stuff. And if you're haven't watched the Hammer films, if I remember correctly, they're a little film studio out of England. It's thick, dark red blood, kind of gives you that little dirty feeling, a lot of heart, but it's still, in my opinion, B movie, maybe even C-list movies. But I enjoy it. Let's see if I got anything on the back. Like I said, they give you a little dirty feeling, and I mean dirty as in you feel like you need to take a shower, because it's just so much grime in it and stuff. It's just feels nasty, which is always a good thing with a horror movie. A lot of characters, how I describe it. Okay, here's some more. Dracula's Daughter and Son of Dracula. And Son of Dracula, you actually have Lon Chaney Jr. of Wolfman fame. He is Count Alucard, which is Dracula backwards. Real subtle there. And I think I got this at Big Lots a couple years ago. They had tons of these. I got rid of a lot of them, but held on to this one, Daughter of Dracula and Son of Dracula. And Daughter of Dracula, I've never finished. I have never finished that movie. The acting is terrible in it. Okay. And I don't know if there's any Evil Dead fans out there, but we have Bruce Campbell here. And I absolutely loved this movie. It came out in 2003, Bubba Hotep. And the movie, it's not quite horror, it's not quite drama, it's not quite a comedy, but it's all of those at the same time. And basically what's happened is, in 2003, Elvis is actually in a rest home, because back in the 70s, he met an Elvis impersonator and let him take over his career. And then Elvis went on and was just playing like little, he was posing as an Elvis impersonator and living in a trailer, and all his paperwork and contracts and stuff blew up in his little, mobile little silver trailer in a barbecue accident, if I remember right. And he was actually fine with it. He could never prove he was the real Elvis, and then the Elvis impersonator died on the throne, and that's who really died. So as he's living in this group home, in this old folks home, people are dying left and right around him, and he finds graffiti in a bathroom stall that is in Egyptian. And basically what has happened is there is a mummy that is sucking the souls and life force out of people's butts in an old folks home, because old folks, they die left and right, nobody's going to look. So it's also about a man becoming a man again in a weird kind of way. And also there's a man who says he's John F. Kennedy. He is black and in a wheelchair, and says that where he was shot, they filled that, they never replaced his part of his brain, but they filled it with sawdust. Yeah. And I don't know really to recommend this. It's a personal favorite of mine. I remember being a kid, and in the 70s they would make these horror movies for TV, and they had The Babysitter, which is, maybe that's where the urban legend came of. The babysitter was in the house, and the phone kept ringing, and somebody kept telling her to check the baby and check the baby. She would call the police, and the police were saying nobody's calling your house. And the phone kept ringing and ringing, and finally she answered the phone, and it's the police saying they traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. The guy, the intruder, was up in the bedroom with the baby calling her. Now, that's just a TV movie. Well, this is pretty much in the same vein, if not the same people. This is based on a book called Bad Ronald, and it's got Kim Hunter, who was in, she played Zira, I think, in the original Planet of the Apes. But anyway, this creepy little dude who kind of gets picked on and stuff accidentally kills a girl, and his mom, who kind of shelters him and everything, pretty much what they do is they take the bathroom that is downstairs and they put up drywall and wallpaper where you would never know that the bathroom is there, and they dig a little hole in the floor so that he can hide in this bathroom while the police are trying to find him for this accidental murder of a kid he did. Well, the mom goes off to get a little, I don't know, I think it was a surgery, and he's sitting there, he's waiting her to come back, and she never comes back because she died. And then this family comes in and buys the house, and they have 3 little girls, and he starts drilling holes in the walls, and he's falling in love with one of the little girls. Meanwhile, he's taking chalk and he's making this big fantasy land all over the walls in his little hidden bathroom. And in the well, I'm not going to ruin it, but this is awesome if you want to check it out. Alright, like I said, I've got tons of other movies, but we'll kind of keep it there. I'm trying not to let these videos run, too long. So, let me know what you think of this. I usually do comic books and enjoy doing that, but like I said, I'm sitting here and can't really sleep. Allergies are acting up, and started doing some digging through a box me and my son found. So give me a yell if you like any of these movies.